There's a trade brewing in Cleveland right now that could be the single biggest domino in this entire LeBron James free agency saga. And it's not about LeBron at all. At least not direct. The Cavaliers are reportedly exploring a trade deal that would send James Harden away and bring back Kyrie. Yeah, that Kyrie. The same Kyrie that hit arguably the most iconic shot in Cleveland sports history, standing right next to LeBron to win the franchise's first and only championship in 2016. And there's a theory going around right now that this trade, not money, not the roster, not even LeBron's own indecision, might be the actual reason that he hasn't announced his next team yet. So let's break down exactly what's being proposed, why it matters, and whether or not it actually makes sense. But before we get started, make sure y'all like the video and comment y'all thoughts down below, because y'all already know we're trying to go with this thing to the moon, Dallas! Hey, and if nobody told you guys this today, you guys are my brothers, my sisters, my family. Love each and every last one of y'all. So here's the framework that's been reported. A 3-team deal involving Cleveland, Miami, and Dallas. Cleveland sends James Harden to Miami. In return, Cleveland acquires Kyrie Irving, Gafford and Naji Marshall from Dallas. Miami gets a backcourt upgrade, while Dallas gets pieces back from both sides to rebuild around Cooper Flag. It's a win-win-win. On paper, it's pure salary matching mechanics, the kind of trade that looks clean on a cap sheet. But the real story isn't the money, it's what it would mean on the floor. A Cavs core of Donovan Mitchell, Kyrie Irving, Evan Mobley, and if he signs, LeBron James. That's a starting five with 3 players who've combined for multiple championships and finals runs. That's not a rebuild, that's a legitimate title push built specifically to close LeBron's book with this franchise. Now it would be so easy just to chalk this up to pure sentiment. Sure, bring back the guy from the highlight reel, relive 2016, but there's a real basketball case underneath it too. Because when healthy, Kyrie is still one of the most gifted shot creators alive. Before he tore his ACL in March, he was averaging 25 points, 5 rebounds, and 5 assists per game, shooting 47% from the field and 40% from 3. If that ain't elite offensive output, I don't know what is. And the emotional side of this joint just writes itself. LeBron came to the Cleveland Cavaliers in 2014 and immediately linked up with a 22-year-old kid in Kyrie Irving. Within 2 years, they delivered the city its first championship in the modern era, coming back from down 3-1 against a 73-win Warriors team that everybody picked to win it all. Then, unfortunately, Kyrie forced his way out a year later, and the two have never really had a chance to reconcile those differences. And you already know Nick Wright put it about as bluntly as you could possibly put it with this quote.
How can we turn James Harden into Kyrie Irving? That's what the Cleveland Cavaliers should be trying to do. I think LeBron is going to go with the Cavs. The hang up right now, I would imagine, the fit alongside James Harden. Here's what I think really helps LeBron. It would be kind of a perfect ending, and it would give LeBron and Kyrie the finish they never got, that Kyrie has since said he regretted. Now, you would really be asking Evan Mobley and Jared Allen to do a lot of defending. Donovan and Kyrie backcourt is tiny and bad defensively, but they would be such a dynamic offense, particularly with LeBron making a lot of the decisions. That team obviously can win the Eastern Conference.
So that's the pitch. Not just bringing LeBron home, but giving him and Kyrie the ending that got ripped away from them both in 2017. All right, it's that time again. We got to plug the holes, and let me tell you, there are some major ones here. First off, James Harden doesn't even have a finalized contract with the Cleveland Cavaliers right now. He declined his $42.3 million player option for 2026 and 2027, and is still working out a multi-year deal with the team. You can't trade a player whose contract isn't locked in yet, so step one of the entire framework ain't even done. Secondly, Cleveland's actual financial situation is a lot tighter than this trade suggests. Reports have it laid out that the Cavs' real tools this offseason are the taxpayer mid-level exception of around about $6 million, the veteran minimum, and a second-round exception. Nowhere near the bigger mid-level exceptions that the Golden State Warriors can offer, so absorbing Kyrie's contract, that ain't no pump. And last but not least, we got to talk about the injury. Kyrie didn't play a single minute last season because he was recovering from the ACL tear, and trust me, I know how long that takes because, as I mentioned last video, I had reconstructive ACL surgery on my left knee, and that takes time. You got to be careful with that, but the medicines are a lot better now. Mine was like 25 years ago or so. At any rate, even the most optimistic outlook has to account for some rust. And even though I totally believe he'll get back to 2024 form, there's no guarantee that that's going to happen immediately. So now the question becomes, is Dallas even motivated enough to move him? Well, Not really, because based on reporting, their own team president has publicly said that Kyrie fits well beside Cooper Flag, and there's no indication that the Mavericks will actually trade him. So why does any of this even matter? Why are we even talking about this, especially for the LeBron decision? Well, I'll tell you. Because insiders are already treating Cleveland as the overarching consensus landing spot for LeBron out in certain circles. The roster fit already makes a whole lot of sense with Donovan Mitchell, Evan Mobley, plus the fact that they made it to the Eastern Conference Finals again this year. When you add all that together, plus a name like Kyrie into the mix, even if it's a rumor, it automatically raises the ceiling of what the Cleveland Cavaliers roster could look like. And that in and of itself is worth taking a flyer on. If you're LeBron, this is the difference between choosing a team that's just very solid versus a team that includes the player that helped you win your most emotionally significant championship. And that's not a hard choice to lean toward. It's the kind of storybook ending that doesn't come around twice. Except in this case, it just might happen. And that's why some have flown the theory that LeBron's silence right now, it's not hesitation. It's him waiting patiently to see if Cleveland is able to pull this off before he commits. So this is where we stand. Absolutely nothing has been finalized yet. James Harden's contract hadn't been locked in. Dallas hadn't shown any willingness to move on Kyrie. And Cleveland cap sheet is not as flexible as the trade framework might imply. But the fact that this is even being floated and that a respected analyst is connecting it directly to LeBron's free agent silence, well, that just tells you how much a single trade could shape the biggest storyline in the league right now. If Cleveland can figure out a way to make this thing work, this is no longer just a homecoming story. It's a full circle championship reunion nearly a decade in the making. So now it's your turn. Do you think the Cavs can actually pull this off, or do you think it's just too many hurdles and it's just a whole lot of wishful thinking? Let me know what you think down in the comment section, man. Hit that like button, subscribe if you're new. We're dropping this heat every day of the week, and I will holler at you guys next time. Until next time. It's your boy Jay Easy, aka Fresh from the Barbershop, BK the People's Champ.